Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my blessed beloveds out there. It is Living and Thriving time, and you're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie. And it's very exciting to be doing this new video series and talking to producers and everything that's opened up and evolved from 5 years of really hard work. And I mean hard work. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. So I was invited to teach at your own university, and that class, the master class, you can sign up for if you go onto my website, go onto the backlink and sign up. It's a free class. I think you'll have fun with it. It's really talking about how to be a dreamer, but be effective as a dreamer. So that's fun. It was a fun class to write. Some of the takeaways that we've had from past guests: what is your passion? What do you want to do? What sets your soul on fire? I'm all about setting my soul on fire. I'm all about being passionate and exploration. It's Rustieism today. One of the guests mentioned to do a mission statement. So that's really interesting. So write something that you believe about yourself, believe about what you do, and read it to yourself in the morning before you start your day, and read it before you go to bed. That's a great routine to get into, a mission statement, a personal mission statement as to who you are and what you want to put out there. And in this time period where people are kind of isolated and a little fearful and nervous and all of that stuff, I think this is a great time to reinvent who you are and put some passion back into your soul. So that's a great idea. Gratitudes and blessings are always things that I feel we should do on a regular basis. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that I always write my gratitudes and blessings in the morning. And it just starts your day out beautifully. Some do it before they go to bed as reflection. And, you know, that's a great way to fall asleep. So consider it. Another takeaway is routines. Vacation time is over. You know, I do go out into the public arena right now, and I see people wearing 3-day-old shirts with stains on them, and they haven't brushed their hair, and they all look all raggedy. That's not the way to present yourself to the world. Own who you are, take a shower, brush your teeth, get on that hair, and be representative of who you want to be in the world. Have pride in yourself. So vacation time is definitely over. I know a lot of you guys have felt very isolated in this pandemic period, but yeah, no, you're worth more than that. So let's get out of the pajamas, okay? Please, I'm begging you. And last but not least, what are you doing to be of service? You guys know I'm huge on helping other people. I think it makes you feel good. I think it gives you a sense of pride, and it spreads like a virus. Did I say that? A good virus. So, you know, help other people. Call on your neighbor, call on your friends. People are handling this situation much differently than other people. And so in that chaos can be a creative way of manifesting something beautiful. And you can write letters, you can donate food, you can clean out the closet, and you know those shirts that you have in your closet with a tag still on them because they don't fit? You have this fantasy that you're going to be a size 2 again. Reality check, get them out of the closet, give them to somebody who can actually use them right now. So those are some of the takeaways that we've had from guests previous. And today I'm really actually excited to introduce the world to Karen Ford. Hi, Miss Karen, how are you today?
I'm doing very well and so glad to be here with you.
Hey, sorry, I have this new opportunity to be teaching courses, so I've been up really late writing. So,
Yeah, no problem.
right now. Karen, who are you? What do you do? And what inspires you to be you?
Well, thank you, first of all, for the opportunity and privilege to be with you today. My name's Karen Ford, and I'm a master financial coach. And who doesn't need money? I have not heard anybody tell me yet, oh, I don't need any more of that. Everybody is in a situation where they either want to get out of debt, they want to budget their money in a greater way, they want to build wealth so that they can help more people. And I loved what you were sharing a few moments ago about that. And that's what I'm all about. I am here to help people get control of their finances so that their finances are not out of control.
And what I love about what you do, Karen, is, this timing just could not be more perfect to have you on. I feel so blessed to have this arsenal of magical people to come on and really give a spark to gain control over things. And the reality is right now, what is it? 56 million Americans are unemployed.
Right.
And granted, 44 out of the 50 states are supposed to be opening up next week. We'll see how that works out. But I know here in the state of Florida, 89% of those who became unemployed applied for unemployment and they still haven't received it. And it's
Right.
been several months. So there's a lot of fear around money, and I really hope that you can give us inspiration and something to be excited about and rewire our brains from that fear place, because money is just an exchange of energy. You make it, you spend it, and that's just the way the world works. But some people are really terrified right now. So what are your tips and tricks to, get jazzy and excited about it again?
Well, first of all, and I love what you said about fear. Fear, first of all, doesn't solve a thing. So we can be anxious, we can be afraid, but that's not going to do anything. And knowing who we are, we're not going to make the best decisions when we're in fear. I have never made a good decision when I was afraid about something. So first of all, get to a place where you're quiet, you're settling yourself down, and just, you almost have to talk to yourself and say, fear isn't going to solve a thing. I'm staying out of fear. I'm going to believe that this is all going to work out. And then what we need to do is take control of our finances. Begin listing everything that you owe, from the water bill, electric bill, that pesky credit card payment, house payment, rent, whatever it is. List all of the bills that you have. And then what we have to do is, first of all, if you're not receiving any unemployment, you're unemployed, you have no money coming in, first and foremost, you want to contact all of the people that you owe and let them know, look, because of the CARES Act, I am not employed right now. I have not received my first unemployment check. And so I need you to work with me. I'm going to pay you, but I can't pay you right now. By law, they cannot turn off your utilities. Credit card companies, automobile companies are mandated to work with you if you have not even received your unemployment yet. So that's the first case scenario. Second case scenario is perhaps you are receiving your unemployment. And we all know that when we get unemployment, it's not going to be as much as what we receive perhaps on our job. So that's where the rubber meets the road. We need to look at how much unemployment am I going to be getting each week? And again, look at your bills that you owe. Look at the income that you have coming in until you can get back to work. And then it's almost like a juggling act. You want to make sure that your four key things are taken care of. You want to make sure your rent or your house payment is paid. You want to make sure you're buying food. You want to make sure that you have gas in your car. You can get to where you need to go, although we're not going anywhere. But when it's time to go back to work, that you have gas in your car, you're ready to go. And, clothing, that can be set aside. You don't need to buy new clothes. Where are you going? Wear your pajamas, or at least get up of a morning and put your clothes on and take your shower and brush your hair, right? Who needs clothes right now? So looking at it from that perspective, you have to have utilities on, you have to have a roof over your head, you have to have food to eat. Now, some people are actually making more money on unemployment right now than they did at their jobs. For whatever the reason, maybe they worked for minimum wage someplace. And studies are showing that these people are actually making more money on unemployment. Now, that's certainly going to go away because these jobs are going to call you back. And when they call you back, they're going to notify unemployment that you've been called back. So that isn't going to continue for you. So if you're making more money right now on unemployment, or maybe you're still working and you're making that money, now's the time to begin saving some back. Look at the ant. You know, I'm looking in the summertime, although it's not real warm here right now in West Virginia. It's weird weather. It was like 48 degrees this morning. Very bizarre.
What is going on up there? Like New England's
So
getting ready to have a huge cold snap too, and I'm watching the radar, and I'm going, Mother
it's
Nature
crazy.
is pissed.
It's crazy. I'm ready for 80-degree weather, you know? So, you know, looking at it from that perspective, if you're still employed, now's not the time to perhaps have a shopping spree or, you know, with a click of the button, buying things on Amazon or other places. You know, you want to be wise. Be wise. Definitely pay the bills that you're paying right now and set some money aside. Don't be, you know, don't be in a hurry to begin spending even though you can. And help your fellow brother, your sister. You know, if there's a single mom down the street, I did this the other day, and I'll just say this because nobody knows. And this is not to toot my own horn. I'm just saying this is what we can do right now. If you have a single mom down the street or you know somebody, maybe in your neighborhood, community, whatever, and you know they're in need, maybe they're not working, you know, this young lady's not working. I went to the water board and I said, look, I know you can't divulge what she owes. I'm okay with that. I'm going to put $100 on her water bill, but do it anonymous. And certainly she's going to call you and think this is a mistake when she gets her bill. But just tell her somebody did that. They did it anonymous. She doesn't have to know who, but there are things that we can do. Our church several weeks ago, oh, we did this on Easter. This was really cool. Good deeds on Good Friday. Our church spent $5,000 and bought a bunch of $20 gift cards to this particular grocery store.
Mhm.
And as people walked in, we handed it to them and said, this is just to help you out on Good Friday before Easter. And so many people were so grateful and so appreciative of that. And some other people were so honest and said, you know what, that's so nice of you, but I don't need it. Give it to somebody else that's in need of it. And I thought that was just so wonderful that people were just being upfront and honest. Look, I don't need it. Give it to somebody who needs it.
Well,
And
and Karen, what I love about that is you've encompassed everything that living and thriving is about. So,
yes.
you know, it's taking control on your life. Do your finances non-emotionally. That's the trigger for most people, is because you sit there and you put value of worth and sense of self in your
Right.
financial situation. And unfortunately, you can't control this rock flying through the universe that we're surfing on. You just can't.
Right.
So when you are ready to sit down and do your budget, let go of any emotions associated with those dollars
That's
first.
right. Yes.
Secondly, Karen encompassed exactly what I advocate every single show, which is to be of service. What a great idea. You know, $20 gift cards for everybody in the congregation that needed it. That's phenomenal. That's awesome. And that little, you know, $20 doesn't get you far in the world anymore. And meat prices are astronomical right now. So most people are going to have to be vegetarian, like it or not. Um, but, you know, that's really hugely helpful. And the kindness that people are exuding, I just, I get tears in my eyes. So good for your congregation and good for you for helping that single mom out.
Well, you know, just something that to think about. Are we really living and thriving if we're consuming it all on ourselves? I tell you what, it makes me feel so good when I can help somebody out. You know, what if you're in the grocery store line? Here's another example. If you're in the grocery store line and maybe somebody's in front of you, I had this happen to me one time, and she kept digging in her purse. She had taken out all of her money, and it still wasn't enough. Well, that's embarrassing. You know, her face is red. There's a line behind her. I just kind of slipped in my purse and I handed her here some cash. I said, here you go. And she had tears in her eyes. She said, oh, really? I said, yeah. Go ahead. And, you know, it doesn't have to be pomp and circumstance, toot your own horn, anything like that. But we're really living and thriving when we can help somebody out. Those of us that are still working, now's the time to really help out our fellow man. Now's the time that we can really help someone out. Maybe there's an elderly person in your neighborhood, or you know somebody that's older, and they really shouldn't be going out, because the older population, they're more susceptible to it, you know, or maybe they have some health conditions. Call them up and say, look, you know, you should stay in. I'll go to the grocery store for you if you tell me what you want me to get for you. And I'll set it in a bag outside your front door and ring the doorbell and let you know that it's there. Different things that we can do to help people out. And I love living and thriving. That's where it's at. And we're not living and thriving unless we're helping somebody out.
Well, and even take it a step further, I am the notorious person who, if there's a plastic bag floating around in the parking lot, I pick it up. If there's a shopping cart in my parking space or in my walking path to the
Yeah,
store, I bring it forward. The
yeah,
grocery workers and shopkeepers, you know, they're all really stressed out, and people haven't been completely nice to them. So the
right.
little bit that you can do to help, that's huge. And it doesn't
That's
require money, it just requires 30 seconds of your time, you know?
that's
So there's a myriad of possibilities of where you can donate your time and be a productive member of society, helping everybody out as we should. But largely, Karen, you are fantastic when it comes to dollars and cents. What got you inspired to be a money person? Because personally, I prefer just not even to look at my account.
Well, you know,
Stress
that's a
me
very
out.
good question, and I get asked that a lot. Actually, I'm a registered nurse, but I haven't practiced as a nurse for several years. I had a friend tell me one day, you know what, Karen, you're really good with numbers. You're really good with money. I think you ought to go get some further training because you're really good at it. And I took them up on their idea on what they said. And so I went and continued some education and got certified as a master financial coach. And I thought, boy, I think I was made for this. And so I actually started coaching people one-on-one and left nursing completely left nursing. And I look at it like this, though. I'm still helping people. I know that causes people to think, my God, nurses make a lot of money, and they do. I mean, I was making a lot of money. And I just thought, you know what? I'm still helping people. I am still helping people because as a nurse, I helped people get healthy physically. And now as a master financial coach, I help people get healthy financially. And like I said, I have not met one person yet to tell me that they don't need any more money, or that they don't desire more money, or, you know, they're good. They don't, you know, they just don't need any more money or want any more money. Everyone needs money.
Do you think that's because we have this unattainable mindset that I think it's unattainable?
Okay.
So, you know, it's this ideology that we have to have pockets and pockets and barrels, like Schmiegel off of The Hobbit. You know, it's this idea that you're not enough, you'll never have enough, kind of like a hoarding mentality.
Right.
How do you work with people like that who just, because I know what my happy pocket would be, and it's
Yeah.
not as extraordinary as everybody else's. I'm just a very humble person,
Right.
and I don't need the bells and whistles, but there are a lot of people that are attracted to that. So how do you work with people for something that's attainable, realistic?
Certainly. Well, depending on what the situation is for the people. You know, I coached a couple one time, and when it's all said and done, in our first coaching session, they had 86 credit cards. That's out of control. Every one of the cards had a balance on it. You know, but I didn't, I thought, well, you got into it, you can get out of it, you know. And so that's what we worked on. So long story short, to answer your question, you know, my mind's eye is, you know, how much is enough? How much is enough, right? What do you want to do with the money that you attain or obtain? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with making more money, because as we can see the cost of living going up, it's going to require more money. Food costs are going up, utilities are going up, things are always going up. And that's just the pattern. That's what's going to happen. So we have to make sure that our income is not, that our bills are not going to exceed our income. But at the same time, if somebody has a mentality or a thought process of, well, I want to be a millionaire, my next question is, okay, why? Nothing wrong with wanting to be a millionaire, but what's the reason behind it? What is your reason? Is it because you have 6 kids, you want to leave them, a nice chunk of change when you pass? Do you want to help other people? What is your motive behind it? Because I want to look at motivation. Certainly there's nothing wrong with it. And I've talked with other people, and it almost sounds like a great statement. I heard someone say, well, all I ever want is enough money for me and my husband to take care of us and our kids. And it sounds really good. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm thinking, see beyond yourself. Don't just have the mindset, us for and no more. The reason that we work is not only to take care of ourselves, but so that we can give out to others. And that's where the mindset has to shift, because there's nothing wrong with making more than enough money so that you can put some in an account for a rainy day, because grandma always said, save for a rainy day. Why'd she say that? Because she knew someday it's going to rain, right? That hot water tank's going to blow out on you someday, so you better have some money in the bank so you don't have to use that pesky credit card to charge it up, and you're going to pay exorbitant interest rate. So we want to see beyond ourselves. Living and thriving is seeing beyond ourselves so that we can help other people. That is where the rubber meets the road, is when we're not making money just to have for ourselves, but so that we make money to certainly take care of ourselves and maybe leave some kind of an inheritance to our children or our grandchildren, but also to help those around us. There's so many homeless out there. There's so many people that need assistance. Sometimes single moms can't, they make more money. They're the in-between state is what I call it. They make too much money to get help with childcare, but they don't want to live on the system. They don't want to sit at home, even though they could, and receive government assistance. So they choose to work, even though they're just a little bit above, their income is just a little bit above to where they're not going to get assistance on childcare. Hey, how about helping them out with that? How about paying, a month for them to have childcare, or help, there's other ways to help people out, not just enough for ourselves.
Well, and I love that, because we are part of the community. And if you're living in a community, being a valuable member of that community is what, networking, resources, soccer games, you are involved whether you want to be a hermit or not.
That's
So,
right.
Offering the opportunity to donate. I know here in Florida, if you go to the schools, they actually have guidance counselors that specialize in providing donations to children in need at the school.
Sure.
And a lot of the churches down here love backpacks filled with food and socks and cleaning hygiene stuff,
Yeah.
so that they can donate to the homeless people. So there's just a myriad of things that you can do to be of service, to earn money.
Yes.
Even in a pandemic, you can earn a little bit of money.
That's right.
But larger than that, it's getting up and staying focused and having a plan. What kinds of plans, go really, really high level, like basic, what kind of plan would you say for a starting family or a single mom with a limited income to grow? What
To
advice
cause
would you give?
money to grow,
Yeah.
cause money to grow. Okay, well, first and foremost, if your income isn't that much, certainly you don't want to go into debt. I mean, if you already have credit cards, start getting rid of those, start paying those balances off. Unless you are the type of person that's going to pay that balance off each and every month to prevent interest charges. So if you have some money that you can save, we want to start saving a certain amount of money. A great way of looking at that is to save at least 10% of your income each month. Try that. Then what you want to do, if you want to go bigger, and you want it because, let's face it, savings accounts aren't paying exorbitant amount of interest, on that. But you got to have a little bit of savings in case that hot water tank goes out, in case you're driving down the road and your tire blows out. You got to have money to repair the tire or replace the tire. So you want to do that. The next thing you want to do is to work on getting out of debt, putting extra payments on your car, putting extra amounts of money on those credit cards. If you want to build wealth, start having a savings account. Then you want to start looking at a 401k or an IRA. Some businesses, and this is something to check into no matter who you work for, ask them, do you have a retirement plan? And check into that, because sometimes they'll have what they call a company match. If you put in 3% of your paycheck, which is usually very little, you don't miss it at all, we'll match you 3%. Well, listen, if they're willing to match, that's free money. And although it doesn't sound like a lot, over a period of time, that's really going to add up. And so if you do that each and every time, and most of the time, companies will take that out of your pay before you get paid, you don't even miss it. Eventually, you want to move it up to where it's up to 15%. And I always tell people, don't do that right away because it'll shock you. So start off with 3%, maybe in a couple of months, go up to 4%, a couple more months, go up to 5%, and do it incrementally so you don't miss it. And get to a place where you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable past 10%, at least go with 10% and receive the company match of 3%, wherever they cap that. But you can still go beyond whatever the company is going to match you on. So that's the second thing. The third thing is start looking at stocks. Oh my gosh, now's the time to buy stocks. Do your due diligence though. Just don't wing it and start buying stocks, not knowing anything about the companies. But right now the stock market is low. So you want to buy stocks. Am I allowed to mention some companies on here? Okay. Obviously, Apple is a great company to invest in because your electronics, your communication, that's at an all-time high right now. So Apple, Microsoft, surprisingly, Dollar General. Man, I tell you what, I could kick myself because about 17 years ago, I bought Dollar General stock. I think it was $22 a share, and I got impatient. I didn't know a lot about stocks, but I got impatient. A few months later, I sold it all. Oh, I could kick myself. Dollar General stock is $148 a share right now, but it keeps going up. Why? Because people are not spending at big dollar items in these places. They're going to the Dollar Generals. They're going to the Family Dollars. Microsoft, Apple, of course, Amazon. Oh, man. It's $1,800 a share right now. But if you want to start off with smaller companies, I recommend Dollar General, Microsoft, Apple. There's another one, your coal companies, because coal's coming back. So if you can get on the ground floor of anything with coal, I would look into that as well. But do your due diligence. Just don't wing it. And some people have asked, what about penny stocks? Hey, you may as well, blow some money at a roulette wheel. There's thousands of penny stock companies. It's a guessing game. Unless you know without a shadow of a doubt, I would not invest in penny stocks because it's a crapshoot. It's a guessing game.
That's good to know because right now, aside from everybody being afraid of what's to come, this new world that we're developing, there's a lot of advertising for lottery things and penny stocks and stuff like that to get people to purchase in a fear-based way. And I think what I've learned about penny stocks is that it's actually kind of addicting to some people. Like,
sure.
This would be a bad time to go down that path. And I love the fact that you mentioned technology because it's absolutely imperative to acknowledge that technology is the forerunner in our stock market right now because everything else is really not moving. And yeah, I'd kick you too if I were closer. That was a lot of holy cow, girl. I know. I'm the same way. I'm impatient too. I got you.
Yeah. So, and then another one would be Zion. It's oil and gas. It's out of Israel. And I think their stock right now is 22 cents a share. But that's going to go up. ZN, Zion. And so there's lots of companies out there. I always tell people, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Grandma always said that. Why? Because if you drop the basket, they're all busted. So you want to diversify. That's, that just means spread it around. And I heard somebody say one time, if you put manure in one big pile, it stinks. But if you spread it out and spread it around, it grows things. So hence, when you invest in stocks, don't buy your stocks all in one company. Spread it around. Buy a few, stocks in various companies. And you don't have to have a lot of money to initially invest. In fact, I advise people, if you have never invested in stocks, then you don't want to throw down 50,000. You don't even want to throw down 10,000. Start with 1,000 or 2,000 and start low and slow and watch and be patient, because yes, stocks will go up and down every single day. So you can't think, oh no, it went down, and sell it. That's the nature of the stock market. So you have to be in it for a little while and see. But those companies that I specifically mentioned keep going up. So, I feel you still do your due diligence, but I have skin in the game. I have money in those companies. So I'm not going to tell you to buy stock in a particular company that I have not already invested in.
We actually have to wrap up, which is unfortunate because
That went fast.
it does. It goes by stupid fast. And even my radio show, which is 45 minutes, 15 minutes longer, crazy fast. I am a tax preparer, and I had this young lady come up, a client come up, and she handed me this document, and she didn't know where it was from. She didn't know who it was, why it had her maiden name on it, all of this information. So we went down the rabbit chute and we called the company and figured out that when she was like 19, she put 3% of her paycheck in Ames, or,
Oh my gosh.
something like that. And
Wow.
she's in her 60s now and did not even know
Wow.
that she had $5,000.
Wow.
And they just, due to due diligence and selling the companies and all of this stuff, it resurfaced this year. And you should have seen her eyes. She was to tears because it could not have been a bigger blessing. She is a nurse as well. So, as you know, so those little things they add up and they come back to you, which I think is beautiful. So definitely take advantage of 401ks or whatever, your company may or may not offer. Karen, I love having you on. You are just such a sweetheart, and big hugs to you for all that you do and all that you will do in the future. And please tell us where we can find you. I know you're going to send me your information so I can put it here or there somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely will. Well, first of all of my books are on Amazon, or you can go directly to my website, which is karenford.org. On Facebook, I'm KBF Money Managing. On Instagram, I'm KBF Money Managing.
Yay!
Yay. And I have a YouTube channel, KBF Money Managing. So I put it there.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome, because I love what you do, and I love that it's very genuine and authentic, and you come from a real place. And I know you've helped a lot of people, so thank you.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
All right. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie, and that was Karen Ford. Oh my God, check her out. Read her books. Her information will be attached to this episode. And, we talked about a lot of really wonderful, positive, awesome, inspiring things. All of these great things that you can do to earn money, to help other people, to save, and to be a kind of a wise about your choices. One thing that I want to mention that I personally do is I go to organizations like Self. You get a monthly fee taken out, and at the end you have a CD that you can either repurpose or keep, and it helps build your credit. So if you're in a place where you need to build your credit, there are resources out there. There's one group that you pay like $6 a month for. And every time you pay your phone bill, every time you pay your electric bill, that actually gets reported to the credit report, which offsets any negative stuff, which we all have had. So resources, and Karen is one of them. So definitely check her out. Know that you're beautiful. Know that I love you. Know that we're in this together and we're going to make it. We're going to do it. And we're going to do amazing things. And even bigger, amazing things, because we just don't know what we're going to do in 5 minutes, right? That's the way the world works. So until next time.